Hello, welcome back to HowtoDandD. Right, said Fred, let's do some beginner character creation. Ha ha, that's right, character creation day. Every week, same time, same day, we do character creation. And it's been a while coming. The range is coming. And to be fair, I'm going to say right now, I think the Ranger is probably one of the best designed character classes up to about level 10. I know that if I say something like that, I know somebody's going to get, Fred, what are you saying? What are you saying? Okay. So how can I stir the pot? I couldn't think of anything else that I could say that would be more stirring than that one. How's it going, Noroak? Noroak is a patron, supports me on Patreon. Make sure that this class continues every single week, and if you want to be part of that, that's great. But anyway, you're not here for that. I have a slideshow. This is what happens. Slideshow, present slideshow, talk about the Ranger, and character creation, so you've got all the tools that you need. After that, Q&A or questions and answers, I go into that. And then we build a character together. So you will need some dice. Like you will need some dice, not just a 20-sided dice, but you'll need all your dice because you're going to be rolling some dice and making decisions. I get the audience to make a decision about what we do in terms of building the character, unless somebody who's new here stipulates they need assistance, and then we do that. I'll be building the Ranger on D&D Beyond today, but in the future going forward, I'll be using a fillable PDF because a lot of you are probably using fillable PDFs. In any case, Matt Walker, hello, how are you? You are on time. Welcome to it. Let's get into it. So make sure you have some food, some drink, you're comfortable. You probably want to have your phone open so you can listen to me and see what I'm doing. You also want to have either a pen, a pencil, and your character sheet in front of you as you're building your character so you can build along with me, and or your laptop or your desktop computer so that you can actually do this. It'll probably make it a lot easier. The idea is this class is designed in such a way that you can build the character along with me. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Anyway, let's get on with the show for today, shall we? Where am I? Am I there? No, I'm not there. Right, there we are. We got the right thing. Sweet. Come on, voice. Hold up. Here we go. Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, because I always do talk about Dungeons and Dragons called D&D, so hey, HowtoDandD, that's what we're doing. Dungeons and Dragons 5e, that's the topic. We're doing Lesson 1, Beginner Character Creation. If you are starting out for the very first time, this is actually designed for you. Okay, the overview, what I will cover, that is the character creation pre-check, the things you do before you start building your character, the different character sheet formats, character creation basic steps, advanced character details, your miscellaneous recommendations that I give you. But we're not finished yet because we'll also do some character class essentials. And the essentials I'm going to cover for today are the Ranger. That's right, we're going to cover the Ranger. One of the best classes in Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, the objectives for today: explain how it all works. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to explain how it all works in terms of character creation. I'm going to demonstrate it to you, and I want to get you to participate in the character creation process with me. As a group, we will build a character on D&D Beyond together. Yes, that's right. So I'm going to refer you to D&D Beyond. It has a character builder. It's free. Not everything's free. Some of the options there are you don't have to pay for. Don't have to sign up for any. There's no money to sign up. You can sign up for free as well. But there are a lot of options there, and so some of those you need to actually pay for. But it's a good starting point if you are worried about doing all the mathematics, and it's why I start off with this, because it does everything for you. Now, the character creation pre-check, all the things we do before we actually get started into building our character. I want you to check with the Dungeon Master what player character options are available to your game before you run. Before the game is run, you need to check with the Dungeon Master what is available. What house rules does the Dungeon Master use for character creation, but also for actually playing the game? That will affect how you build your character. Build a character for the campaign on the information provided by the Dungeon Master. And if the Dungeon Master doesn't provide the information you need, ask for the relevant details so that it allows you to make a character for the adventure or campaign. So the character fits the game, not the other way around, okay? Character creation always starts as a group discussion because a character is part of a team, it is part of a group machine. Like a cog or a piston or a moving part, you are part of a team. Now with a sports team, you have to plan together, you need to train together, and then you play together. So that means that if you're playing a game like this, you really need to make sure you do the pre-planning for your characters together as a group, not separately. That's what Session 0 is all about. Design characters around the 3 pillars of play so that you can do exploration, social interaction, and combat. If you make a one-trick pony, the only thing that you can do is combat if you've only focused on combat. So make sure you can do all things, otherwise 2/3 of the game you're not actually doing anything. You're sitting down waiting for somebody to finish doing something else that you can't do. Ask for what ability score methods can be used in your game and when they can be used. Are you using the point buy system? Are you using the standard array system? Or will you be using the rolling of dice? Now, if you're going to be rolling dice and the Dungeon Master allows you to roll dice, you need to do that in front of the Dungeon Master. Generally, that is the convention. That way you don't get accused of cheating or being deceptive in any way. Always do it in front of the group, but particularly in front of the Dungeon Master. Determine what hit point method is going to be used or allowed. Are you going to use the average each level time you level up from level 1? At level 1 you get maximum hit points, but after that you get the average, or will you be rolling your hit points every single time? And if you are, when do you do your roll your hit points? Well, when you level up, but you need to do it in front of the group, particularly the Dungeon Master. Dungeon Masters do not like it when you roll dice about those sorts of things and they can't see what's going on. So make sure you do it in front of them. Character sheet format. There are, I would say, 4 different types. There's the standard paper character sheet that you can get where you use a pen or a pencil. I would suggest a pencil. You can rub out a pencil, but you can't really rub out a pen mark unless you have Twink, and that's kind of getting messy. And you're going to be making changes on that character sheet a lot. So yeah, pencil's probably better. The fillable PDF character sheet. There's lots of them around. You can get them off the D&D website if you wanted to go and grab them. There's some official ones there if you want them. Also, there's D&D Beyond has a character builder, which you can actually turn into a PDF or print off if you want to, or you can have just a character sheet on your phone or your laptop or computer. Then there's third-party character sheets. These can be in paper form, they can be a PDF, or they might be an online website that actually just has it's available to you when you're online on their website, and you can view everything through there. So lots of different options. Now that we've gone through the formats, it's about character creation basic steps. What are the basic steps to actually building your character in the game? First off, you're going to select the level for your character. The level you will start at, you write that down on the character sheet. You will not always start at level 1. Sometimes the Dungeon Master will ask you to start at level 3 or 5. So some campaigns can start at different points. Check with your Dungeon Master what level character you're supposed to be building in the first place. Select the class for your character, write down the relevant details on your character sheet. The vast majority of the information you will need is in the Player's Handbook on page 45 to 119. Select a race for your character and write down the relevant details on the character sheet. The races are basically in the Player's Handbook on page 17 to 43, but there are, of course, other supplements out there. Select the background for your character and write down the relevant details on your character sheet. Backgrounds, the vast majority are in the Player's Handbook on page 125 to 141. Select a feat for your character if you get one. You don't always get a feat, but sometimes you do. Write down the relevant details. If you're getting a feat at level 1 because you are a variant human, or because your Dungeon Master has allowed you to have a feat at level 1 or level 3 or whatever level you are, then figure out whether you want to take a feat or you want just to increase your ability scores. That might be an option for you as well. Feats, you'll find the vast majority are in the Player's Handbook on page 165 to 170, so check them out, and I would say some of the strongest ones are there, so you're not missing out by really not going to other books anyway. And then another thing I want to mention too is some dungeon masters don't use feats. That's not a bad thing. It just means that it's a different preference, okay? Feats do add a level of complexity. They do actually make your character stronger, which means there's a lot of rebalancing and adjusting that a dungeon master will have to go through and so forth. You have actually generated more complexity for them by having a character with feats. So when somebody says, no, you can't use feats, I wouldn't get upset. It's just a different way of playing. And in fact, in some cases, it might open up gameplay a lot more. Determine the character's 6 ability scores. What method will you be using? The approved method that the Dungeon Master said you could use. All of that information, the point buy system, standard array, and rolling for your ability scores is all listed in the Player's Handbook on page 12 to 13. So if you wanted to check out that information, that's where you'll find it. But we're not finished. There's some advanced character details we need to deal with. And unfortunately, if you're playing a caster, you will have to select spells for your character if you get access to spells. Write down the relevant details on your character sheet. Spells, you'll find the vast majority in the Player's Handbook on page 207 to 289. I'm also going to say, when it comes to spells, it's always a good idea to put the page number beside the spell on your character sheet so you can reference the spell quickly. Select or buy equipment for your character and write down the relevant details on the character sheet. You'll find the vast majority of equipment is in the Player's Handbook on page 143 to 161. Mathematics. Unfortunately, there's some mathematics involved when you're doing your character sheet up, and that means calculating all the maths behind everything. The fortunate thing is that the formulas for calculating all this stuff are relatively simple as long as you know what they are. So we have to determine your ability modifiers, your proficiency bonus, which is usually on the chart for your character, so it's not too hard to figure out. Skill modifiers, saving throw modifiers, your armor class, your hit points, your initiative, passive perception, weapon attack bonuses, weapon damage formulas, and there's many of them, your spell attack bonus, your spell saving throw, save difficulty class. So those are the things that you're generally going to have to calculate at some point. But it's all right, because we will help you with this. Select or draw a character portrait. It's not vital, but it does help connect your concept of the thing that you've imagined or the character you imagined in your mind with something that's physical, like a physical medium. Okay, whether it be digital or whether it be on paper, it doesn't matter. Whether you draw it or you get somebody else to draw it, frankly, it's a good way of concreting down some of the aspects of your character. Now, with all of these presentations, I always give some miscellaneous recommendations. And my miscellaneous recommendations for you today are the following. The character backgrounds can be anything that you want them to be, so don't worry so much about what they are. Okay, you don't have to select the optimal pre-made background. You can also build your own backgrounds. There is information in the Player's Handbook near the back that talks about building your own backgrounds. You can modify backgrounds. You just need to get sign-off from your Dungeon Master. This is not going to be a big issue, frankly. What race you select no longer has any real bearing on the character, okay? It's very flexible now with the new rules. So that means you can create pretty much anything you like. So optimizing races with your character class, if optimization is what you're after, you're at the wrong place. I don't do that here, okay? I'm not really a power gamer or an optimizer. So therefore, you've come to the wrong place. What I'm trying to do is get you a character that will be fun for you to play and will interact with the rest of the group effectively and make the Dungeon Master's job easier to run the adventure in the first place. Select adventuring gear. It's easy for any player to do, okay? There are no requirements in terms of character, race, or background in terms of buying adventuring gear. So go and buy some. It helps prepare you for the challenges ahead of you, for overcoming the problems you have to solve. Not everything can be solved with a special ability from a race or a class or a spell. So have your adventuring gear, put in the things that you think might be useful. I have a whole video series that talks about how to use mundane equipment in your game to overcome challenges, problems, solve issues that you might come across, okay? It's all about problem solving. So you can do this. Note down the page number in the Player's Handbook or whatever book you're using, provided the Dungeon Master has signed off that you can use that material. For any of the spell descriptions you have, because you will struggle to remember all the spell descriptions, more than likely. Any racial abilities or race abilities that you have, any class abilities, and any background features. Make sure you have the page number. So, because you can't always fit it on your character sheet. If you can't write it onto your character sheet, you need to be able to reference it quickly sometimes. So have it there. And those are the things that I thought were probably the most important with regard to actually indicating to you what is going to be useful to you in the game. And I'm hoping that this was useful to you. And if it was, fantastic. I'm going to say right now, if you have any questions, put them into the comments section. If you have any feedback, put that into the comments section as well. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. I know what you're thinking. You're starting to freak out and think, oh, he's disappeared, he's finished. No, I'm not. We are talking about the Ranger, but I always talk about the Ranger when I'm doing the beginner stuff. I do it last. Why do I do it last? I do it last because often it's easy to decide to skip over all the important stuff we need to talk about, and the things I just talked about are actually quite important. So I've tried to sort of condense it as best I can. But we now need to go into detail because I'm going to talk about the Ranger. And when I talk about the Ranger, I'm talking about the basics of the Ranger. I'm not talking about optimizing the Ranger. I'm not talking about special builds. You can't make a single video or presentation on every single Ranger there is under the sun. So we're only dealing with the basics that are essential to the Ranger and nothing else. So first off, Ranger basics. Dexterity really should be your highest ability score because it's directly connected to how well you fight in combat. It's connected to how your defenses work and your key skills as well. It's wise to increase your dexterity to 20 reasonably quickly if you can. Constitution and wisdom is your second most important ability score because this relates to how long your Ranger survives in a battle. It also affects how you perceive danger and your ability to survive in the wild. Now, I had a discussion with my group about which one was more important, Constitution or Wisdom. And for me, I think I'm going to go with both. But there is an argument that does say, yes, Constitution is probably more important than Wisdom. And then there's another argument that goes, Wisdom should be better, should be higher than your Constitution. Frankly, I don't think it matters that much. A Ranger is not as strong in combat as a Barbarian, a Fighter, or a Paladin, but it dominates in exploration. It does that better than pretty much any other class out there. Okay, when it comes to exploring the wilderness, the Ranger does it better than anybody, and it should do it better than anybody. So do not compare the damage output of a Barbarian, or a Fighter, or a Paladin, or even a Rogue to a Ranger, because that's not what they do really well. When selecting your favoured enemy and your favoured terrain, discuss with your Dungeon Master what you're likely to face in the campaign. That's not giving away spoilers to you, that's giving you an idea of what would be more suitable for your Ranger so that the features that you have will actually get used during your game. Fighting styles for the Ranger are all good. Every single fighting style for the Ranger is a good choice, but archery is the better option at long range. You can only get 2 first level spells at character level 2, so ensure you have Hunter's Mark, and I would say the better first level spells are going to be Ensnaring Strike. Much to my surprise, it was pointed out to me, Ensnaring Strike is a very good spell. Good Berry is probably right up the top there, and then Speak with Animals. And the rest, I wouldn't worry too much about. You're not going to get that many spells anyway. The best feats for a Ranger will generally be Alert, because Alert is good for every single class. Dual Wielding, because it allows you to wield 2 weapons and 2 weapons, one in each hand, and one of the tropes of a Ranger is wielding 2 weapons. So you'll probably want that to go with anything else you're building into your character. Lucky works with any character class because it allows you to re-roll 3 dice. So 3 dice rolls you get to re-roll, and so it's good for any class, so including the Ranger. And then lastly, Sharpshooter, because it makes it easier for you to do what you need to do at range. Okay, you can ignore cover, and it gives you a whole lot of other benefits as well. So sharpshooter is a very good feat. And that's pretty much what I think the basics around the Ranger are. Anything else you want to do is really completely up to you. In fact, everything is completely up to you. This is just my advice. Okay, I am finished. We are going to go to my head, and we are going to go to chat, and then we will get stuck into building a character for today, which will be a Ranger. A Ranger. I am curious to see how people responded to this. I need to actually, now before I go too far, I'm going to say right now, for those of you who are here, there will be some slight changes to how this class works at this point. Don't get worried. Every week there will still be character creation, but it will not be called beginner character creation. It will simply be called character creation. I will stipulate what character class we're going to build, and it will just be called character creation. That means that the full slideshow that I've just shown you will not be presented in future weeks. For the next 3 months, I think it is. I think it's at least 3 months. You won't see the same program. What you will see is a very shortened version. You will probably see only one panel, maybe 2 or 3. We'll see how I go. I don't intend to do too much with that. It means whatever I present to you will be much shorter and more compact, probably taking up to about 4 or 5 minutes before we go straight into character building. That is my intention. That doesn't mean that we're doing power gaming or optimizing. All it means is I'm adjusting the class a little bit. Does that mean I will come back to the old format in the future? Yes, it does, but not for the next 3 months. Okay, so you're still pretty much getting what you need as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that the best way to support this program continuing is on Patreon, where you pretty much get everything that I do here on there. If people want the actual... I guess if you want me to actually provide the characters that we build in this class, then I need people to tell me that, and then I'll make sure to save them and then turn them into a PDF and put them up on Patreon. But at this point, I'm not putting the characters we build here on Patreon because it's a group exercise, so they're not really built for anybody in particular. My intention, this class is designed to help you feel comfortable making your own characters. Does that make sense? So that you can do it. All right, so let's have a look at the poll and then go into Q&A, and then it's time to build a character. Is this the first time you have created a Ranger for Dungeons & Dragons 5e? 62% out of 13 votes said yes. Okay, for those of you who are completely new, the chat is turned to subscriber only. You need to subscribe for at least 20 minutes to have input. You're going to be asked a whole lot of questions. If you want us to build a character for you, we can do that. I have access to everything, okay? So it can be done. All right. No, 15%. Unfinished characters, nobody's got any unfinished characters. And just watching, 23%. Okay, cool. Right, we've got that sorted out. Good to know. Very, very useful information. I said hi to Norok, who's a patron, supports me on Patreon to keep this program running. And Matt Walker is here, and you are on time. Okay. Look, the Ranger is a great class, and look, if anything, I think if any class is actually starting to do it right, it's the Ranger. I know people don't agree, and they think it's a badly designed class. It's because they're only focusing on combat. That's the only reason it is. It is because they view the character as nothing more than a killing machine. And if you view your character as more than just a killing machine, but a character that's supposed to solve problems, oh my gosh, Natural Explorer is one of those features. I'm not saying that it's perfect. Natural Explorer is not perfect. I'm not saying that favored enemy or favored terrain is perfect in any way, okay? But there are some aspects to the Ranger that just make it superior to any other of the classes out there. Right. All right, let's go down here. We have Dungeons and Chronics. Hello, welcome back. How are you doing? Scott is here. Hello. Park D. Hello. How are you, Park D? Thanks again. Okay, good. What archetype in pop culture is a two-bladed Ranger? Well, in pop culture, I think the two-handed ranger might have a couple of different origins. For me, I guess the two-bladed ranger is actually the character from the old Robin of Sherwood TV series that had two. I think his descent was Arabian or Arabic, and he would wield two swords when he was fighting. That was probably my first sort of taste of that sort of thing. But I don't. That's so long ago. So current pop culture, maybe in the Dungeons and Dragons realm, is going to be Dritz, the drow. But I mean, yeah, it's a very sort of limited thing. Anyway, welcome, Park D. How are you doing? Spirit Wolf is here. Hello, how are you? Legolas for one. Legolas used to fight with two swords, but not always. Sometimes he would only have one sword. Right, let's get into character building. We've had enough chat. Let us get us over here. This is the first question I need to ask you. Are we doing the free character build stuff, or are we doing the paid version? So let me go with, hang on, hashtag, do you want the free version or paid version of D&D Beyond? That is my question to you people. I'll get my phone started up. Expect rain. Thank you very much. It's nice to know there's rain coming. Wonderful. And that is not helpful, but that will come up hopefully. Yes, you will need dice. Please make sure you have dice. I will be asking and calling out for you to roll dice throughout this process. Yeah, that'll be quite important. If any of you are unaware how this works, we do a lot of dice rolling, and you need to make a lot of decisions too. So look out for the prompts in the chat with regard to this. Okay, that seems to be working fine. Okay, good. Phone is up, and over to where is my workspace? This one. Properties. That's not what I want. I want the actual character builder. And that should have changed it over. Good. Sweet. Now, I've just got to remember where I need to stick my head. I think my head is in about the right spot. It may be just a bit too big. That can be a problem sometimes. Right, there we go. There we go. There we go. I think that's done it. We're in business. And now I'm awaiting for a response. Free version, Norok. Okay, no problems. We can do paid version some of the day. We'll do free. I'm happy enough to do that. So that means we're not paying for a thing. You get everything free. A good way to start out. Okay, so we're going to go to collections. You need to make sure you have an account. It's not that hard to do. Just create an account and you're away. Okay, so we go to my characters. And I should have a number of characters here. I have 4 characters. You can have up to 6 characters for free. If you want more, then you have to pay. And we don't want to pay at this present time. So we're going to press the button that says create a character. There are 3 options available to you. You can select the option that says randomized. We're not doing that. We're not doing a quick build. We're using the standard system. I'm going to use the show help text. Okay, this is ideal for beginners. So that's the one we'll pick. If you're building a character along with us, make sure you have your laptop open or your character sheet is out in front of you with your pencil. Okay, here we go. So there is a button either side that says previous and next. We're going to use that to keep moving along. I'm going to get you to create a character name. There is an option to randomize. You can press the button at the top that says randomize there, and it creates a name, but I want you to create a name for me. That'll give me time to do other things. Hashtag create a name. And I will just pick the name that I like the most out of the ones that you guys offer. How's that sound? Okay, there's also the option underneath to use the fantasy name generator. I've talked about this before. It's a website, it's got a lot of different names on it. We can also put a portrait in here, but I'm not going to put in a portrait just yet. Why am I not going to put a portrait in? Because we don't really know what we're getting at this present time. So we'll leave that for now. Okay, we'll come back to that a little bit later. We're going to turn off Magic the Gathering. We're going to turn off Eberron. We're going to turn off Dragonlance. We're not using any of this stuff, only the free stuff. Dice rolling, we're going to enable digital dice rolling because there's an opportunity to actually roll for hit points and roll for, ability scores. We often wind up finding ourselves doing that. Allies. Spirit Wolf, thank you for that. And Park has got Quill. Quill, all right, I got two names there to choose from. I will come back to the name in a second, don't you worry. Scrolling down here, you've got some options. You can, the option features to turn on optional class features. This is all the stuff from Tasha's. We're not turning that on because that's not free. Reginald Pippiner. Reginald Pippiner. Hello, nice one. Roland Hartthorne. Okay, so we're going to not worry about the origin stuff or the class features stuff. We're going to leave that alone. Milestones, check with your Dungeon Master. Are you going to be doing XP or milestones? I'm your Dungeon Master for today, and I say milestones. Okay, less work for me. Moving down, fixed hit points. So you can do that manually. You can select to go manually and enter all your hit points manually, or you can do fixed. I'm just going to go with fixed. It's easy. We're going to turn off the feats because we won't be able to use feats or multi-classing. We're only going to level 1 because we're going free. Okay, and then show level scaling spells. Well, we're going to leave that on. Encumbrance. Scrolling down, and I am going to say we're going to use encumbrance, but we're not going to use the variant rule. We're not going to use no encumbrance. There are 3 options. So pick out of those 3 options which one you like the most. We can ignore coin weight or we can turn it on. I'm going to just leave it alone. Okay. We'll just turn it on. Just ignore that because it'll just make it more complicated. Now, your ability score and your ability modifier, they are connected, but the ability score you will use less often than the ability modifier. The ability score is the big number. The smaller number is the ability modifier, and we want that to be larger on the character sheet and at the top. So what I'm going to suggest we do is we have modifier on top rather than score on top. Okay, I'm going to make it public because I don't care if people see this. It doesn't matter to me in the slightest. And I'm going to look at some names now. Roll a d24 and we have 4 names. Actually, no. For those of you who are constant viewers and constant participators in my live streams, you know who you are. Spirit Wolf, Noroak, Dungeons and Chronics, and I'm going to actually let Park D select today. We're going to go with Quill. Okay, we'll go with Quill. We could have rolled the dice, but we're just going to go with Quill. Park D, we have Quill. So now we're going to move on. Next, just press the next button, and we're now going to select a race. You're not going to get all the races as options. I will tell you which race that are available to you. We're only using the basic rules stuff, okay? Nothing more. So, hashtag, pick a race. Pick a race. All right, so while you are picking a race, and I'm drinking some water, I will tell you what the races are that you can select from. Now, so the options are, under the free version, Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, Half-Elf, Half-Orc, Halfling, Human, Rock Gnome, and Tiefling. That's it. So a lion person or tabaxi, Leonin, that's in the Mythic Odysseys of Theros, and that's paid stuff, so we won't be able to do that. So we're going to leave that one alone. The other one, the tabaxi, again, is not an option as part of the free version stuff, so we have to pay for that content to be able to access it, unfortunately. Noroak has suggested a dwarf. I'm fine with selecting a dwarf. You've said a mountain dwarf, so that's cool. We'll go with a mountain dwarf for today. Why not? Mountain dwarf. You can have a mountain dwarf that is a ranger. Why would you not be able to have a mountain? It doesn't have to be a hill dwarf. Could be a mountain dwarf. So we'll go with a mountain dwarf. So we get dark vision. we get Dwarven Resilience, we get our Dwarven Combat training, and then we get our Tool Proficiency and Stone Cutting, and there's Dwarven Armor training, which is like, cool. Like, we've got a lot of stuff. You get quite a bit of stuff. All right, now, we select the race by pressing the green button, and there it is. But we do need to make some choices. Okay, so there's some things we need to actually select. So we will do that. Where you see an exclamation mark beside a bar, that means there's something you need to actually select. So you're going to try and use the drop-down menu for Tool Proficiency, and we need a Tool Proficiency for our Dwarf. So pick a Tool Proficiency, hashtag, pick a Tool Proficiency. Is it Tool Proficiency? It is. Proficiency. There. I'll tell you what tools are available to you. You only get 3 options, people. Brewer's supplies, mason's tools, and smith's tools. That's it. Those are the only choices you get under the free version. Okay? So you can have brewer's supplies and you can make your own home brew and get drunk. Or you can have mason tools and make yourself a stone head for one of your dead player friends. Or you can have smith's tools and make your own armor and weapons. And we're going to go with brewery tank. Okay, so we're going to go with the brewer's supplies. Thank you, Spirit Wolf. For those of you who are struggling to get into here, if you find that some of the regulars are putting in options before you can, don't worry. Still put your options in, because I will probably fall back on your stuff if you're new. Okay? I can assure you the regulars won't be upset by the whole process. So you can have a part to play with this. If you're not, it's very hard to be quicker than Spirit Wolf, I've discovered. Anyway, let's move on. So we've selected what we need for our mountain dwarf. We're going to pick a class. So we'll go next again. Smith's tools, a noble mountain dwarf that takes charge. Okay. Park D, since you are, I'm going to go back. I got a previous button. I can go back. Nothing against your selection, Spirit Wolf, but we'll let Parker D, since he's making the effort, or she is making the effort to participate, we're going to pick Smith's tools instead. All right, continue on. Now we have a class. We know what class we're picking. We're not choosing the class. We know what it is. It's Ranger. Okay, favorite enemy. Natural Explorer, fighting style will start at level 2, so we don't have to worry about picking any of the other stuff. Add that. Now you can see there's a few things we need to select as part of a Ranger. You do have a very good connection, Spirit Wolf. Let me guess, you're probably just a couple of doors down from YouTube's main office and central server and hub. It's like, it's all right. We're on the right track. So we're building a character at level 1 today. We're going to get maximum hit points, which is it's a D10, so that means 10 hit points plus whatever our Constitution modifier is going to be. At this point, we don't know what our Constitution modifier is. This is how you got a drop-down arrow for picking your level. So if you're level 1, grab level 1. If you're level 3, 3. If you're 5, you're 5. We're going to go with level 1 for today. We've got 3 exclamation marks. That means we have some and we have some proficiencies we have to select. We have to pick a favorite enemy and a natural explorer, which I think it's probably obvious. It probably needs to be mountains, but we'll see how we go. So, based off what we got here, what range of skills do we want to pick up? Now, if I remember right, when I was talking about the Ranger, did I actually mention anything about skills and the Ranger? For the life of me, I don't think I did. Now, why was that? I believe, if I'm right, the reason I didn't mention anything about skills for the Ranger is it didn't seem to matter. We looked at all the skills and we said to ourselves, oh yeah, that's right. I looked at the skills, and it doesn't actually matter what skills you take. All the skills that are available that you can be proficient in they're kind of the Ranger stuff. Rangers are very diverse. You know, so you can kind of go with any of these. So there's 3 that we get. We get 3 Ranger skills. So pick a skill. Hashtag. Pick a skill. Okay, so start picking some skills. I know you are here, and I know that if nobody responds, Spirit Wolf will drive the live stream forward, and I'm all for that. Yeehaw! Animal handling. Okay, we'll take that one. Animal handling. We've got two more. The other, so we get options for animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, survival. Any of these would be perfectly fine. Built into level 2 choices. I haven't gone for level 2 choices. Why have I not done that? It's because this is the first time I've presented the Ranger on my channel as a beginner class. What you'll see in the future is we probably build our characters up to the archetype for that class. So for example, if your archetype kicks in at level 3, then we'll build that character class up to level 3. Do you know what I mean? It's just that I know when we're starting out completely new, it's probably best not to focus on something like 2 levels. 2 levels is a lot of extra complexity. So this is just the very basics. We'll come back to that in the future. Have a like and a good stream. Thank you, DNF Dead. Good evening, everyone. Hello, how are you? So that does mean in the future, when we come back to doing the Ranger, we will be building the Ranger out to level 3, because that's when you get your archetype. Okay? Right, so animal handling, he is a beast something. What's that? He's a what? What's that, Norike? He is a war beast tamer. He tames them with his homemade ale. Yeah, well, he can have ale. Right. Nature and investigation. Okay, so we're going to go with nature. That's nature. Select nature, and then investigation. Investigation. Yes, you can go with perception, but you guys make the choices with regard to this. So I'm just picking the things that you decide to make them be. Oh man, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. So we've got our 3 skills. Ugly Weirdo, hello, how are you? Now, we are making a Ranger. Favorite enemy. So I'm looking for one favorite enemy that we can pick. There are a lot of different choices. So pick a favorite enemy. Come on, baby. Come to me, baby. Okay, pick a favored a favorite enemy. Come on. Why am I having trouble here? Too many things. Favored. Oh, this is going to screw me up. I can't do that. I'm not American. Favored enemy. Okay, that's better. Right, so humanoids. Yeah, is humanoids an option? It may well be. Monstrosities. I don't know if humanoids is an option. It says here, aberrations, beasts, celestials, constructs, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, giants, monstrosities, oozes, plants, or undead. Our favourite enemy cannot be a shopkeeper. Okay? Ale-less drinks are our favourite enemy. Joke. So, Spirit Wolf, we cannot select humanoids, okay? It's not going to work. You have to pick something else out of the choices that are available. Okay, aberrations, beasts, celestials, constructs, dragons, elementals, the fae, fiends, giants, monstrosities, oozes, plants, or undead. Undead. Oh. Constructs. Do we have constructs there? Yes, we do. Construct it is. They don't drink ale. Constructs. There we go. Got it. Thank you, Parker D. And thank you, Spirit Wolf, for your undead. Yes, that's right. He got it. Quick on that. Now, we need a language. You can choose a language. You can have pretty much any language you like. Hashtag. Pick me a language. Language. So, for those of you who are unaware of the languages, I will read out the languages. Okay, here we go. Starting off with abyssal, celestial, something I can't pronounce, deep speech, draconic, elvish, giant, gith, gnomish, goblin, hadozi, halfling, infernal, creole, leonin, lodoxon, whatever, Marquisian, Minotaur. What is that? Minotaur? Nash, Orc, Primordial, who knows? Don't know. Sylvan, Thycreen, Undercommon, Vulcan, and something else. What do we want? Giants it is. We'll take giants. Thank you, Chronics. We're going to go with the giant one. Giants it is. Fine. Got giants. Now, Natural Explorer. We need to make a selection for Natural Explorer. So one of those times where I get annoyed with Natural Explorer is the fact that you get to make one choice out of terrain, which it doesn't make any sense to me. The undead, yeah, then level up. Yes, exactly. Hashtag. Get the undead later. Pick a favored terrain. Can I get terrain in there? Yes, there it is. Let's see what we get in terms of favored terrain. Underdark. Do we have the Underdark? I feel like that's going to be. Oh no, it's there. So we had Arctic, coastal, desert, forest, grasslands, mountains, swamps, and so we take Underdark since that's the choice that has been put in there. Spirit Wolf is fast off here. So no, I'm not. I'm going to have. Otherwise, I'll have a rant about my issues with the favoured terrain thing, and that's not what you're here for. So just Underdark, we pick that. Got to be careful. Fred almost went into and dived into a rant. Could have been deadly. Okay, so as the DM, it's mostly useless feature anyway. I don't find it to be a useless feature. I just think that players need to have a discussion with their dungeon master. You have to have a conversation about, what's going to be useful to you. Do you know what I mean? What's going to come up? A little bit of metagaming is involved. Yes, I'm aware. Okay, so we're going to pick a ability score generation method. Hashtag. Pick an ability score generation method. Made my saving throw. You made your saving throw. Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, you want to roll dice, so Spirit Wolf wants to roll dice. I'm going to let a few people respond. As I said, we can do any of the three options that are here. We have standard array, we have the manual rolling, which is what Spirit Wolf wants to do. We have the point buy system. Point buy system is a good system as well. Ugly Weirdo wants to go point buy. Favored terrain, anywhere there are enemies. Yeah, I guess for me, for the ranger, I feel like if you are a ranger, you should be able to deal with grasslands, forest, mountains, swamps, and streams. That shouldn't be an issue, okay? It's only when you're dealing with... Oh, no, it's a rant, Fred. Stop it. No more ranting. Okay. So, yes, we could go with rolling dice. I'm fine with it. Is anybody going to... there's a bit of a tie going on right now. Could be either one. Of course, new people that I've never seen before always trump all suggestions by everybody else who's been here a lot. But it's up to you. If you want to mention something you would prefer to see done, then that's what we'll do. I'll give you a moment to consider doing that before we wind up moving forward. Okay, got to keep moving forward, falling forward. At the top of the hour, please remind me that I need to take a break. Otherwise, I won't take a break. You know what happens. Apparently, I've got paid. Good. No. No. Okay, it looks like we're rolling dice because nobody said anything. First choice, rolling dice it is. Okay, there's a dice roller on D&D Beyond, if you're not aware. So you'll see in front of you there are little green buttons. Yes, I agree, but I'll just go with the rolling the dice. The first one, that's fine. I look, when it comes to me, I always give them the choice, point buy or standard array. It's easier for a dungeon master to check that. But I mean, this is a throwaway character. It's not like it's getting played. And some of them will be wanting to roll dice in their groups, or will be able to roll dice in their groups, and they'll be starting out. So I don't think it's too much of an issue. There is a bit of a lag going on. Yeah, it's not. It shouldn't be at my end. I'm pretty sure at my end everything is sweet as. Yes, says I'm doing fine. We are streaming in 4K. Just maybe crank down your resolution, and that will help keep up with everything. Okay, so here we go. Press the green button to roll the dice. We're rolling 4 dice. We take the top 3 numbers. We've got a 6, a 4, a 2. Oh no, a 6, a 4, a 4, and a 2. So we drop the 2, and we get a 14. Okay. If you can't see it, it's because the dice fell behind my head. Sorry about that. Next dice. Next dice roll. We get a 5, a 3, a 3, and a 1. So we get an 11 in total. We drop the 1. Another dice roll. We get a 6, a 2, a 2, and a 1. So we drop 1, and we get 10 in total. It's pretty average right now. Nothing too crazy going on here. We got a 6, a 5, a 3, and a 2. So we drop the 2, we get a 14. Okay. About middle of the row. Nothing terribly amazing. Nothing terribly horrible. And they're all in front of my head now. So that's a 6, a 4, and a 3. So we get a 14. So we drop the 3. And the next one is 6, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the 1, we get 11. So actually, a sort of an above average numbers to a large extent, if you ask me. I think that's actually pretty good. So you know how I said with a ranger, you need to have your top ability to be dexterity. Because it means that, you know, most of the time if you're a ranger, you're going to go 2-weapon fighting, or you're going to be using a finesse weapon or a light weapon. And so dexterity is, you know, you're probably going to go finesse weapon, you know, and light weapons. You're probably going to be doing that. Okay, it's almost a given that people are going to want to do something like that. So you're going to be using dexterity rather than strength. So one of the 14s has got to be dexterity. Since we got 3 14s, I'm just going to make Constitution and Wisdom 14. That gives you some choices to make. Okay? So these are the choices. We've got a 10. If we make a decision about the 10, then everything else just falls into place because the other ones are 11s. Hashtag. What should be the 10 on abilities? Okay. All right. Wisdom. Parker D. I've already selected Wisdom as a 14. So we need to select something else. The other ones that we still need to select as the lowest, whatever's going to be our lowest one, should be, as it's going to be a 10, it's going to either be Strength, Intelligence, or Charisma. We're not dumping Con. Int. We're dumping int. Yeah, Parker and Norok want to go int. So we'll dump the int. Okay. That's fine. We can dump int. It's not going to make a bigger difference. 11 and a 10 is pretty much the same thing. And then strength will be 11 and our charisma will be 11. Okay? Now, before you do anything, before you run away and think you can move on, you cannot. You have to press a particular button. The button is the apply ability scores. It's in green. Please do not press the button that says in red, reset group. No. Apply ability scores. We are now applying ability scores. You can see the numbers popping up at the top. If we scroll down, it shows us the mathematics. You can see there's a reason why I use D&D Beyond to do this, because it shows you how to calculate everything for you. Do you know what I mean? So our strength was actually an 11, but we get a racial bonus of +2 because we're a mountain dwarf. So it goes to a 13. Okay, so it pumps up a little bit. Our dexterity was a 14. There's no bonus, so it's just a +2. Okay, our base for constitution was a 14, but we get a +2 to our constitution for being a mountain dwarf. So that's making it a 16. So con is actually pretty good. It's actually wound up being higher than our dexterity. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, but Fred, this is not a bad decision. I want to reiterate that if you don't have a +3 to your primary ability, and for whatever reason you wind up with a +2 rather than a +3 at level 1, it's not the end of the world. It really is not the end of the world. It might take you a few more levels to get your number up, but bound accuracy means that you really don't have to freak out about a single difference in one number. And there's ways of getting around this problem. Because if we wanted to take archery, for example, our archery is going to supersede any huge penalty we had before. Do you know what I mean? We can actually negate a lot of that problem. So it's not a bad decision, even though you might think it is. Okay, moving along. Intelligence was a 10. There's no bonus to that, so it stays as a 10. And the modifier is going to be a 0. Wisdom was a 14. No bonus to that, so it's just a +2. The modifier. And our charisma is 11. No increase to that, so it's just a 0 modifier. So that's all calculated for us. We're all done there. Let's move on. And we're going to go to our background. Now, well, let's grab an image. I'm pressing on the little plus sign by the portrait. We can now pick Quill as a character. Where's Quill? Let's pick Quill. Do we need to have a beard? Do we want to be beardless? Do we want to have a beard or not a beard? Do we want to make it old or make it young? Or that one will do. Here we go. Quill. Yeah, dumping con is a bad thing. I've had this discussion with one of my friends more than a few times, and we've decided that actually dumping it is like almost a nonsense. Our custom primary stat for the ranger is con. His stomach guides him to the ale and glory. So first off, it doesn't mean that our attack bonus is not going to be bad. It really doesn't. Okay, so background. We're going to pick a background. Now, we only have a few choices, okay, people? So don't get carried away. It's only the free ones. Hashtag. Pick a background. Background. There we go. Pick a background. Now, the choices, if they're free, is Acolyte, Criminal, Spy, Folk Hero, Haunted One, Noble, Sage, and Soldier. You want a Noble Cook. Okay, we could go Noble Spirit Wolf. I'm going to give people time to sort of respond to that, because I know you're in there quick. I know everybody else is struggling. It's like you take your big hoary finger with a tiny phone, you've got to press all these buttons, and then press the button and then send the message. Of course, it then goes all the way over to YouTube, who then has a lag problem as it tries to send that information to the stream. Folk Hero, Noble Knight variant is best. Well, we can go Noble. Folk Hero. Are there any other choices? Right now, I feel like it's going to be Noble. Even if we don't... Scrag is best book. Oh, what a way to get people riled up. Nicely done there. So unless we see Parker D give us a different choice, I'm going with... I'll be counting to 10. You'll be counting to 10. We're going Noble, okay? That doesn't mean I won't change it. I just need somebody to actually indicate that it's a good idea. Okay, since Parker D's been in here helping us the whole time. How's it going, Flute Sloot? So, I just want to point out, Flute Sloot is a Dungeon Master Roundtable member. He's got a YouTube channel, does a lot of stuff around character builders, building and character stuff. Probably more than I do, even at this point, even though I've been around a long time. So, yeah, how are you doing, Jordan? How's it going? I like what you did with the Dungeon Master Roundtable. I'm going to talk to you about the Dungeon Master Roundtable in a few coming weeks in terms of what's likely to happen with that, because we're going to do something slightly different, just for my sanity and everybody else's, I think. Okay, we've got somebody else who wanted to folk hero. The trick is to pre-type the message in anticipation. That is how I compete with Spirit Wolf. Fun, fun, fun. Yes, for those of you who have been around here, that's probably what you are doing. I believe it. So you know that we're going to have to pick a game set in a second. So I'll put that in now. Hashtag pick a game set. Let's see how we go with that. Pick a game set. Now, you can't see it, but the choices are dice set, dragon chess set, playing card set, 3 dragon anti set. I'm glad you're doing well, Flute Slope, man. Jordan, it's so hot in my office. I need to go and take a break very shortly. Dragon chess. Okay, dragon chess. We can go with dragon chess. Dice. Noroak's gone with dice. Is there any other votes coming in? Is there anybody else who wants to break the tie? Because like right now I have a tie. Otherwise, if we don't break the tie, I just go with the first one. That's chess. Oh, okay, so it looks like chess is going to win out. Cards. Oh my! Right now it looks like it's going to be chess. 2 chesses, 1 dice, 1 cards, and that's between Ugly Weirdo and Dungeons and Chronics. Dungeons and Chronics has pushed it over the top. It is dragon chess set. Okay, language. For our background, we get a language. You get to pick a language. Anything you like, pick a language. It is break time, but I want to finish this background. Do I want to finish this background? I do want to finish this background, and then I'll take a break, okay? Hashtag pick a language. Language. Which languages? You can have any language you like. As long the only language you can't have is Hook Horror. You can't have Hook Horror. You can have Abyssal, Celestial, Deep Speech, something I can't pronounce, Draconic, Elvish, Gith, Gnomish, Goblin, Hadozi, Halfling, Infernal, Leonin, Ladoxon, blah blah something, Minotaur. I can't. My brain is not working very well. Orc, Draconic. Draconian, Draconic, Orcish. Oh, is there anybody who can break that tie? I was reading out, what was it? I got up to Orc, didn't I? Orc, Primordial, something, Quarry, I think it's Quarry, Sylvan, Thrycreen, Undercommon, Vulcan. It's not that, but I can't help myself. No. Just plug your stuff in, and everybody at Gobbo. So we've got a Draconic, we've got Orcish, we've got a Gobbo, we've got Avian, Zimonine. I think it's Zimonine. Yeah, something like that. Anyway. The Drunkard's Tongue. I don't think that's an option at this present time, Noro, but maybe we should add it. Klingon. Is it Kling on? Yeah, it is Klingon. Klingon. It's clean rap. Klingon. Always a place for Klingon in Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think we have Klingon as an actual option here. But since Yeti, no. Now we're getting silly. Now we're getting too silly. Okay, we're going to go Draconic. So nobody's broken the tie that we've got here. So it looks like it's going to be Draconic. Snails, man. You guys love snails, don't you? Okay, all right. Position of privilege. Look, I could read it out to you, but I'm not. Okay, moving on. Suggested characteristics. This is where you need to roll dice. Get your dice ready. Roll them up. Ready. So here we go. I want you to roll 2 8-sided dice. Hashtag. Hashtag. Roll 2d8. That's 8-sided. That means D8 means 8-sided dice. So I want you to roll 2 of them. I need 2 numbers. We're doing personality traits. Now, with personality traits, you can just select from the table or chart, or you can make up your own. You don't have to use what's here. So don't feel restricted by what has been offered. It is just a starting point. It's one of the best aspects of Dungeons & Dragons 5e, which we will lose in the future. Unfortunately, I am sad to see it go. But I'm going to say right now that if you can hang on to any material that gives you this stuff, I found when I was dealing with character creation and playing 3.5, I got the Player's Handbook 2. And in there, in that particular book for Dungeons & Dragons 3.5, how did I go through 3.2? 3.2? 3.5. The Player's Handbook 2 has a whole lot of stuff on backgrounds and fleshing things out, and it's one of the best books out there. I kept that book because I can reuse it. Yeah. It's called Thingin Holy Spirit Wolf. Smith and Dungeons and Chronics got a 5 and 3. Norok got a 6 and a 7. Oh dear. All right. At this present time, we're no. Spirit Wolf is just keeping you guys on your toes, so you pressing those buttons faster and rolling those dice quicker. That's all it is. You got a PDF of every book, and I'm happy to share. Thank you for that, but it's all right. I had the same offer from AJ not so long ago, and yeah, we'll see how we go with that. So we're going to pick 2, which is, what was it? It was Spirit Wolf had selected that. My elegant flattery makes everyone I talk to feel like the most wonderful. No, that's wrong. What am I reading? I'm reading number 1. I'm reading number 2. Number 2 is, the common folk love me for my kindness and generosity until they get on social media. And then you're in trouble. Okay, so we'll pick that one. And then I'm going to go to Norok, who rolled a 6 and a 7. I'm going to take the 6. And what is 6? 6 is, despite my noble birth, I do not place myself above other folks. We all have the same blood. So we're going to select this one as well. Spreading it out. Okay, so you need to roll 3 6-sided dice. Hashtag roll 3 D6. Now, for those of you who don't have 6-sided dice, it's all right. Don't worry. All good. Dungeons and Chronics, I saw the numbers you put in. Do not feel bad if I did not select them. Okay. We're going to do ideals, bonds, and flaws. I'm going to pick one number for each one. And even if you put in 3 numbers, I'm still going to... He makes the alcohol. Even if you put in 3 numbers, I'm only going to pick one of those 3 numbers that you put in. Particularly if I have other people putting in stuff. Okay. As I said, Spirit Wolf is my backup. He will make sure that if nobody responds, I'll get at least some numbers to work with. So Spirit Wolf has put in a 2, a 5, and a 3. Dungeons and Chronics has put in 4, 3, and 6. Okay, so Spirit Wolf will take, for ideals, we'll go with number 2. What does that look like? Responsibility. Ooh, okay, sounds deep. It is my duty to respect the authority of those above me, just as those below me must respect mine. Wow. It's lawful. Okay, sure. Sure. Well, let's hit this button. Let's hit this button. So that's our ideal. We're picking it. Go bond. Dungeons and Chronics, I'm going to take your number 4. You roll a 4, 3, and a 6. I'm going to take the 4. 4 for bond is I am in love with the hire of a family that my family despises. Okay, it's very Romeo and Juliet. We've got the Romeo and Juliet line. So we just need to replace this bond here and say Romeo and Juliet. I mean, that's where it's taken from. All good, though. Fine, we can have Romeo and Juliet. Next, Shakespeare knew what he was doing. Norok, you got a 2, a 1, and a 6. I'm going to take your 2. I hide a truly scandalous secret that could ruin my family forever. Oh, I am the law. You ugly weirdo. It's going to get like that, isn't it? Are we going Judge Dredd? Probably not. Probably not. Judge Dredd would be in a tin can, would he not? No, no, he's not a tin can. That's RoboCop. What am I talking about? Yeah. So moving down. So we've done all that. Now, if we go to character details, it allows us to pick our alignment. I'm just going to go neutral. I'm not really too concerned. If we want a faith, we can plug that in. We can have a lifestyle. I'm going to get you to pick a lifestyle. I'll tell you what the lifestyles are in a second. I'll just let me type in pick a lifestyle. Lifestyle. Pick a lifestyle. What are the lifestyles you can pick from? They are wretched, squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, aristocrat. Well, it probably is wealthy or aristocrat, but it's up to you, people. Perfect. I have something like that in mind. I'm building. Okay, good to know, Dungeons and Chronics. We're doing good. We're doing good. If somebody wants to throw in a faith or a god that you want to worship, I'm all fine with that. But right now, he likes elf chicks. Are you talking about baby chickens with pointy ears? Is that what we're talking about? Is that? I mean, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about because I can't think of anything else you could be discussing right now. I guess he has a kid with his forbidden love. Didn't think that that'd be here in the stream. Okay, aristocrat. Okay, Spirit Wolf has selected aristocrat. We've got comfortable by Dungeons and Chronics. If somebody can break that, as I said, wretched, squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, and aristocrat. And we are dealing with a noble, but it's up to you. Somebody wants to break that tie. If they don't want to break that tie, I'll just go with the first choice because that's what I normally do. Drink of water. Gal Glimmer Gold. Who's Gal Glimmer Gold? You have to explain it to me. Right now, man, my brain ain't working that well. So you could type stuff in here and I have to go straight over the top. Okay. Wretched, ugly weirdos written down. Rich child. Is that re-child? Is that a re-child or a wretched? I think that's what you were supposed to type in there. Did you press the buttons really quickly or something like that? We'll go with the top one, aristocrat. Oh, god gnome. Oh, the god gnome. Is there a god gnome? I didn't know there was a god gnome. God gnome. Oh, I see. Gal Glimmer Gold. That's confusing, but that'll do. We got it. I got it. Gal Glimmer Gold. Okay, and we're aristocrat. So now we go down. Now that we've done all that, we're going to select our physical characteristics. You can fill that in. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, you can put all that stuff in yourself. Next, we've got our personality, our personal characteristics. You can edit these. They do not need to be fixed. You can change them on the character sheet. There's a green button that says Edit Trait. You just go click the button, and then you go in there, and you can adjust things if you need to. Like so. And then you just close it, and the changes have been made. I went from a comma to a full stop. So it's all here. So if you don't like anything and you want to make slight adjustments, I do this quite often myself. I won't actually pick exactly what they have selected. Okay, then go down and we can type in there add notes in green for organizations, allies, enemies, backstory and others. All there if we want it. Ask Ed Greenwood. Okay, oh, well, I don't know. Don't know. Does it matter? Are we worried about that? I don't know that we are. Okay, so that's everything we've done with our background. We're all good. We should be. We haven't got the same skills. We've got history and persuasion, so that's fine. So next, equipment. Equipment is time to pick some equipment. I'm always going to suggest go straight for the equipment rather than just spend all your gold. So we're going to go equipment. And I'm sure that you can see on the screen that there are some choices that need to be made. So I'm going to type in the choices and I'm going to let you people decide what you want, and then I'm going to go and take a quick break. because my head is about to explode. So let me type in the choices. Hashtag pick scale, mail, or leather armor. Okay, that's the first choice that needs to be made. Then the next one is hashtag pick 2 short swords. Or that's not what I want, you stupid thing. Or come on, you don't mess with me. Or 2 simple melee weapons. That's the next choice you need to make. Decide which one it's going to be. And I see people are typing stuff in. I'll come back to that. Hashtag pick a pack. And it's going to be Dungeoneers. Dungeoneers. Come on, Fred, just get this. Dungeoneers or Explorer. Explorers pack. Sending out that message. Lots of choices to make. And then, is there any other choices we needed to make down here? No, we get a longbow and a quiver of 20 arrows. We get all the other stuff that's already selected for us. Get a lot of gold. We're going to have a lot of fun spending gold today. So yes, those are the choices you need to make while I go take a short break. So while I'm taking a short break, Arnold will look after you. I will be back in about 5 minutes or less. It usually doesn't take me that long. And we will continue building this character. And then we're going to buy a whole lot of gear. I'm going to show you how to make sure everything is calculated for you. So don't disappear. Won't be long. Alright, sliding back in. release the piece. Okay. Okay, all right. So I see you guys have thrown in some choices there. I'll just grab myself. Grab myself. Okay, that sounds really bad. Okay, all right. So I'm almost ready to make some decisions here. I think I'm just about ready. Yes, hopefully I am. Moving back into our work screen. Windows display. So I asked for some armor. What did we get? What did people suggest? Scale mail from Norfolk. Oh, it's the name of your Greenwood is the name of my town. Ah, I see. Interesting. Light hammers, 2 hammers. Spirit Wolf Norfolk going with 2 hammers. Okay, I feel like there's going to be 2 hammers going on here. It's going to be hammer time. 2 hammers. We want to go light 2 hammers. Interesting. Daggers, explorers. He is tall enough for a bow. Oh, you're saying, the longbow, is he going to be tall enough for a longbow? So do you know how gangsters in movies like to turn their gun sideways and try to shoot somebody with the gun held sideways? Like it's supposed to be more accurate and cooler to do it that way. Our dwarf does the same thing. He takes the longbow and he turns it, instead of it being vertical, he turns it horizontally and fires it like that. Poof. Okay? So we won't worry about that. Okay? He can have a longbow. He's a tall dwarf who shoots his bow like a gangster. Anyway, let's go with the scale mail, because that seems to be the only one anybody wanted to select, which is probably very sensible. Scale mail it is. And then it looks like it's 2 simple weapons, which will be hammers, I suspect. We're hammers, light hammer, light hammer. We're hammering. Light hammers. Are the light hammers throwable? They're throwable, aren't they? The light hammers? The throwable and something else. What was the other thing? I'm pretty sure. Let me just check. I'm kind of curious now. Simple melee weapons. Simple melee weapons. Light hammer. It's a thrown weapon and it's light, so you can fight with it as if it's a light weapon. So you can have 2 in your hands, but you wouldn't be using dex. That's the only hassle. So a light hammer is 2 pounds. A short sword. Where's the short sword? The short sword is 2 pounds and it's finesse. Why is a light hammer not a finesse weapon? Please explain that to me. I would very much like to know why it is that a light hammer is harder to use, two-handed, and can't use dex. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but hey, we'll do this. It's there. So the pack, Explorers, is the one that we seem to be going with. A ballista? We can't have a ballista. Light weapons. Firing 3 arrows at a time. Hey man, like I said, sideways you can do it. Okay, so we've got the Explorers pack. So that's now, do not disappear. You must press add starting equipment. If you don't, all your choices will be lost. Okay, don't do that. That'd be silly. So press add starting equipment. Now, you need to go through your equipment and turn some stuff on. So we don't need to press use arrows. That's not going to be necessary. But we want to. You can turn on use pack. That's fine. Okay, use the pack. But what we want to do is we want to equip one of the light hammers. Why? So that the software does the calculation for us, so we know what our hit modifier is. So we're going to do that now. Light hammers. We want to turn on the long bow, because we need to know how to be able to fire this. Now, normally, I think you'll find that you can't, if you're a small size, you can't use a long bow, and you have to get a short bow. Okay, so your dwarf, if your dungeon master says no, you can't use a long bow. If you're a dwarf, you're going to say, okay, I traded in for a short bow. Okay, It's not a long bow, it's a short bow. End of story. Fix that problem. Moving on. Yeah, Norok, it's far easier to wield than a sword. A light hammer probably is. Anyway, longbow. I'm going to just click that button. Add your scale mail so that your armor class gets adjusted. Because if you do that, it will do the adjustment for you. Boar hog for riding. You want a boar hog? We can probably buy a boar. I don't know if we can find. Can we find a boar for 25 gold pieces? Maybe. And then we go next. Go view your character sheet. You want to dye a boar. You want to ride a dire boar? Okay. So you'll see that all of our ability score improvements or modifiers are near the top. Our ability score ability modifiers are at the top. Our proficiencies here, our initiative is calculated, our armor class has been worked out for us. We have our speed, our saving throws have been calculated. We don't have to do any of that problem stuff. No, it's done. So your passives are all worked out for perception, investigation, insight. You can't see it because my head's in the way, but it shows you all your proficiencies written down. The dots indicate the skills that you are trained in or proficient in. If you are unsure as to what's going on here in terms of the maths, it's done for you, okay? Which is basically just your ability modifier plus your proficiency modifier or bonus if you are proficient with the skill, okay? Now, we're going to go through here. It goes attack rolls, actions. We're not picking spells at this present time because we don't get any spells at this like time, and that's all right. That's fine. We're going to inventory. We're going to spend some stuff. So we're going to buy some stuff. We're going to go to manage our inventory. That's the button over here. It says manage inventory. And it gives us the option to find some stuff. So I'm going to start. Now you said you want me to type in here boar or pig. A boar. A boar. I type in boar. Bracelets of archery. No, well, no, we're not going to pick bracelets of archery. So maybe we can't have a boar. Or a battle cat. You can't have a battle cat. You want a goat. Let's see if we can find a goat then. A goat. Goat. No, it's a figurine. You can't have a magical item. A mountain goat. What else is there? What other things could you ride on? You obviously want to stick this ranger on an animal. I totally get it. There's a problem with the ranger not having a mount. And it's all we're very well saying, yes, but we want one like the paladins because it doesn't die. You love this character already. So I'm looking to see if I can find an animal that we can ride that we can afford for 25 gold pieces. Because it seems to me you guys want to ride something. We could have a donkey or a mule. I think that would be hilarious. He could ride a mastiff. I don't know. Would a mastiff be able to survive the sheer weight of the dwarf and his armor? I don't feel like it's going to be very pleasant. I'm going to type in donkey. Yeah, we're gonna stick him on a donkey. It's very, I don't know, Clint Eastwood. A donkey or a mule. It's only 8 gold pieces, man. We can afford a donkey or a mule. So we're gonna ride our donkey or mule. So that means we need to deduct some money. That's about 8 gold pieces, isn't it? 8 gold. And remove. Okay, so we've still got some money left. Do we need a bit and a bridle for our donkey? Or do you think you can get away with not having one? Do we want to give him a saddle? We can stick a saddle on him if we wanted to. It wouldn't have to be that fancy. We're going to have a pack saddle, which is only a pack. That would be 5 gold pieces or 10 gold pieces for a riding saddle if you want a riding saddle. Or do we get the bit and bridle? That's only 2 gold pieces for the bit and bridle. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get the bit and bridle. Bit and bridle's only 2 gold pieces. We can handle that. That's all right. That's not going to break the bank. Bit and the bridle. Add that. I want to not my pack onto my donkey. It's on my donkey. Look, my donkey's got it. There we go. And then remove our gold. Remove. You want a saddle in a harness. Ooh. You want to pull at a cart, saddle. Okay, we'll go with a saddle. We can handle a settle. Let's go down to settle. Settle. It's going to be a riding settle. I think we need to ride it. We don't want settle. Do we want settle bags at this present time? I don't know. We want settle bags. 10 gold pieces for settle bag bags. No. That's a riding settle. We can have a riding settle. Add that item to my donkey. My donkey has got. That's 10 gold pieces I need to deduct. Wow, man, we're burning our money up real quick. Didn't take long at all. That remove. How much gold have we got? Like 5 gold pieces. Man, we could get just about anything under the sun. Okay, so we can't get a chariot. I don't think how much would a chariot cost? Do we even have option to get a chariot? You want a cart? How much is a cart? I've never even considered that we could have a cart. It's too expensive. We've already spent that money. Chariot? Interesting. Chariot. Chariot. You can get a chariot. Oh my gosh. It's 250 gold pieces. You're going to have to steal one. You're going to have to jack one. So jack that jack that chariot, and then you can have a chariot with your donkey. Okay? But right now, you have to pick some other things. So here we go. Pick some equipment. Hashtag. Pick some equipment. Equipment. Pick some equipment. Here we go. So this is the point. This is usually the point, people, where we start to get very, very silly. If we weren't silly before, it definitely goes down this track. For those of you who are wondering what the heck is going on, did you see the harness? Why do we need a harness for? Ante up. We're going to ante up. What's an ante up? Harness. What's a harness? There's no harness available. Sorry, baby. Bag. Is it saddle bag, something bag, pipe bag, pipes? How much is a brewer's kit? Okay. Kit. Brewer's kit. Healer's kit. Herbalism kit. It's maybe not called a kit. It'll probably be called brewer. I'll just put brewer. Brewer. Because you want to get drunk, right? Brewer's supplies are 20 gold pieces. Again, you're going to have to steal it. Okay? Or make some money. Go get a job like a normal dwarf. Make some money, and then you can get your your brewer's supplies. So yeah. So what else are we going to get? Like what else would you add to your character? We're not encumbered at this present time. A barrel of snaps. Okay, well, I can see if we can get a barrel. Barrel. We can get a barrel. I don't want to have any snaps in it. You'll have to. That's 2 gold pieces. You're going to have a barrel. What the heck are you going to do with a barrel? I don't know what you're going to do with the barrel, but hey, I don't care. Like, that's your business. Barrel. We've got a barrel. A cask of ale. So you want some ale. Okay, so we want alcohol now. You guys want to get drunk fast, don't you? Ale. Ale. No. Ale. It's armor. Why am I not finding it? Ale, beer. Do I type in the word beer? Oops, that's the beer, isn't it? The animal beer. Beer? No. Oh, any up, rob somebody. Okay, all right. So it's not ale. What about mead? Can we get mead? Mead? No, there's no mead. Can't have mead. What else is there? Is it wine? Can I type in wine? No results. You can't have wine either. You're going to have to steal that as well. So what else would you like to get? Put straps on the barrel. You want to put straps on the barrel? Okay. I don't think it's not an item I think I can... Mead. I typed in mead. I could not get anything. I'm sorry, people. I know you want alcohol. Can I put alcohol? Alcohol. No. Okay. I feel like we've hit like this horrible point in the process of creating our character where we just can't get drunk on what we have. Do you know what I mean? Pure grain alcohol. But there's no choice to do that. Like, we don't have the option. Yeah, it's not like you can just buy some stuff like that, apparently. You used to be able to. You could look at the adventuring stuff. We can't drink soap. And there doesn't seem to be... Yeah, that's not going to work. No, we can't drink oil. That's not a good idea at all. No, ink is too expensive to drink. So yeah, what else? What have you got? Cider. There's no cider in here. I'm pretty sure if I type in cider, there won't be any cider. Are we finished? Have you not got anything else? What other things will we need? We are a ranger. Okay. What sort of things would a ranger need in terms of adventuring gear? Can you think of anything? Everybody is... You're losing it, people. You're losing it. Come on. Do I have to do all the work? I mean, I made all the videos on that stuff. You guys are supposed to be doing the rest of it. Okay. I will throw one at you. We'll throw you a bone. You want a silver dagger? We're not going to get 100 gold pieces, 104 gold pieces actually, for a silver dagger. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be too expensive. We can't get a silver dagger. No. We're going to get a hunter's trap. We've got a hunting trap. Like, it's that kind of character, right? Hunting trap. You are apparently a ranger. Are you not? Would you not have one of these? I'm going to put it in my backpack. No, I'm going to put it on my donkey. My donkey can carry my thing. So we'll go down here. Hunter's trap, people. Come on. It's 5 gold pieces. Remove. Oh, we failed. Oh, we only had 3 gold pieces left. Oh, well. We'll buy a second-hand one. Done. It's basically a bear trap. Yes, exactly. So we have no gold pieces left. No, we still got 1 gold piece left. Remove it. Get rid of it. No money. Spent it all. We've got a hunter's trap. Okay. If you are a ranger, you'd think you'd be able to make your own traps, but if since the Wizards of the Coast never put anything like that into the character, and you have to sort of negotiate with your dungeon master your ability to make traps, then we make sure we buy one. Yeah, back to being serious. Oh, I think it's too late for that. I really do. In any case, we've spent all our money. We have a hunter's trap, second hand. Might need a bit of rust removed. Probably covered in blood and guts as well. But anyway, we have built a character. Well done, everybody. Campfire equipment. Now we're getting serious. Now we're starting to head that way. Poor blimey. Anyway, clearly we all had a good time, or at least some people did. And we got the character built. Like, that's the main thing. Now, what I guess, do I need to show you where to do the PDF, the creation of the PDF? I didn't even think of that. Maybe I should. On the screen, if you have a look at your screen up the top here, beside the name and the portrait, you'll see it says Manage. Press the Manage button. And if you scroll down, you can change the sheet appearance, but you can also, export it as a PDF, and then you'll be able to print it. You can also share the link. There's a lot of software packages out there that allow you to share your character sheet in a campaign if somebody's running it. You can share it on all sorts of different things. And I'm not going to go into those because right now I'm way too tired for dealing with that. Instead, I'm just going to say, we've done it. We've made a character. Thank God for that. Okay, now I'm going to say again, next week, we're still doing character building, but a slightly different format. What it means is that we return to the beginning, except the wizard. I kind of already did the wizard. And what we will be doing is we'll be building the character beyond level 1. We'll be building it to the first archetype that you get, to get your archetype. So probably about 3rd level, yeah? and I won't be presenting everything that I did before. Instead, what I'll be doing is presenting just the basic concept of that class, and we'll go from there. We will also be using every single option available because we can, unless somebody in the chat stipulates they don't want that. Okay? That's my intention. So ultimately, things haven't changed, but they have changed a little bit, but not a lot. And we'll see how that pans out for the future. But with that said, I would like to say thank you to all of my patrons who support me on Patreon. You can pay as little as $1 a month, and ensures that this class continues along with every other class that I run during the week. And there's about 5 of them with a feature at the end of the week as well. So thank you to my patrons. Thank you to everybody in the live stream today who's participated and essentially made sure that this was not a boring exercise, because without you, it would be very, very one-sided and it wouldn't be that much fun. So thank you very much. Make sure if you didn't bring your dice next time, because you'll need them, okay? And be sure to make sure you have subscribed so you can actually comment, because that's good too. Thank you to everybody who's been watching the replays of my live streams, my edited videos, and putting up with my shorts. I do appreciate it. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the night, the afternoon, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.